Everything we want is going to take time and energy, right? Because really, we're matter trying to change matter. And if you're matter trying to change matter, it's just going to take time. And when it doesn't work, and you get angry and frustrated and impatient, try to manipulate outcomes. We fight for outcomes. We compete for outcomes because we're matter trying to change matter. Now, learn the skills, make the right choices, make the right sacrifices, and meet the right people, and in time, you may get that job. Nothing wrong with that. That's how we create in this three-dimensional world. There's an invisible field of energy that exists beyond this relative space and time. And there's no objects there, there's no people there, there's no bodies, there's no things, there's no places, there isn't even time, right? Now that's a really big concept for people to wrap their mind around because it's nothing material there, nothing physical. It's a vacuum, void of anything material. What we learned in our research is that if you teach people how to take their attention off of everything physical and material, everything known, there comes a moment where the brain begins to switch and we put our attention, instead of on matter, we put our attention on energy. And the quantum field is an invisible field of energy, of frequency, that's filled, fertile with possibility and information. So now, this invisible field of energy connects everything physical and material. In fact, most people, when they study matter, they see matter as emitting a field. But according to the quantum, it's not matter that's emitting the field. It's actually the field that's slowing down in frequency and creating matter.
Many people tend to grab their phones, chat, surf the web, or watch TV when they feel awkward. But guess what? That discomfort can actually lead to personal growth. The first step? Being aware. Meditation helps with that. It's all about getting to know your unconscious self. You have to be so mindful that you don't lose track of your thoughts, actions, or feelings. But it's not easy. It takes a lot of effort and staying focused. And if you're worried about making mistakes, don't be. You'll bounce back each time. The journey has its ups and downs, but don't give up. The tough moments are worth it for those times when everything clicks. This journey isn't a straight line. It's about creating, not just surviving. With practice, you'll improve. Being present is like paying attention to someone. You can tell when they're really there. Inside you, there's a force guiding everything. To tap into it, you need to shift your focus. It's hard, especially if you're attached to how you look or what you own. But with practice, it gets easier to disconnect from the familiar and reach a higher state of being. Studies show that with practice, you can reach a state of deep awareness in just seconds. Your brain slows down, entering a different state, away from everyday reality. It's a journey of self-discovery beyond the usual routines. Ever thought about how much your thoughts shape your life? Not many people consciously create their future each day. Why? Because deep down, they doubt it's possible. But your brain records everything, shaping your reality. So, who's in control? Your environment or your thoughts? If you keep doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, you'll keep getting the same results, even if you secretly wish for something different. The real trick is to think beyond what's around you. Look at folks like Mahatma Gandhi or Joan of Arc. They knew this secret well. Even though they couldn't see, touch, or taste it, they had a clear picture in their minds of what they wanted. They believed in a future so strongly that their brain started to think it was already happening. Can you imagine doing the same? It's not just wishful thinking. Science backs it up. Your personality shapes your world, plain and simple. It's made up of your thoughts, actions, and feelings. If you want a different life, you've got to change these things. Trying to create a new reality with the same old habits won't get you far. You've got to become someone new. Here's a cool brain fact. When certain cells in your brain work together a lot, they become wired together. That's why your brain loves routines. But if you want to break free from the same old, you've got to switch things up. Learn something new. Every time you learn, It's like adding a new pathway in your brain. Positive thoughts trigger good feelings, while negative ones bring you down. Your brain and body are always chatting, influencing each other. It's like a loop. Your thoughts affect your feelings, and vice versa. Some folks get stuck in this loop for ages, creating what I call a mood groove. By the time you're in your mid-30s, most of who you are is like a program running in the background of your brain. So when you try to think positively, but your old habits kick in, it's like a battle between your conscious mind and the autopilot you've built over the years. To break free, you've got to teach your body some new moves. Ever met someone who seems stuck in misery? They resist change, even when it's right in front of them. It's like their brain is stubbornly holding on to what's familiar. We've actually got 3 brains. Pretty wild, right? These brains help us shift into a new way of being. And here's the kicker. You don't have to wait for a crisis to make a change. You can learn and grow in joy and excitement, not just pain and struggle. It's up to you. Don't wait for life to shake you. Take charge and make those positive changes now. Let joy and inspiration lead the way. Did you know that wishing and wanting too much can actually slow down your dreams coming true? If you're eager to learn how to take charge of your life, keep reading. When you keep on wishing and wanting, it makes you focus on what you don't have instead of what you do. This can put you in a negative state of mind, making it seem like what you want isn't happening. To make your dreams come true, it's important to think positively and appreciate what you already have. Getting too attached to a specific outcome can also get in the way. If you're too fixated on how things should turn out, it can block the natural flow of life. Instead, it's essential to set intentions but also let go of expectations, allowing things to happen as they may. Another thing to consider is the energy of your thoughts and feelings. Everything in the universe has its own energy vibe. Wishing and wanting send out vibes of lack or desire, which aren't helpful for making your dreams real. To align with what you want, focus on feeling good and being grateful for what you already have. Taking action is important too. While thinking positively is great, it's also necessary to take steps toward your goals. Action keeps things moving and helps you see results. Being open to different outcomes is key as well. If things don't go exactly as planned, staying flexible and trusting the process can lead to even better results. Too much wishing and wanting can also lead to stress and anxiety. These negative emotions create roadblocks in your journey toward your dreams. Keeping calm and trusting that things will work out is crucial. Many people get stuck in a cycle of wishing and wanting. Our brains like routines, so negative thoughts can become ingrained over time, keeping us stuck in the same patterns. Past experiences also shape how we view the world. Trauma and setbacks can make us focus on what's missing, fueling the desire for change. But breaking free from this cycle is possible with the right mindset and approach. Understanding how our brains work reveals that certain thoughts can trigger stress hormones, creating a habit of negative thinking. Our brains get used to feeling rewarded by these chemicals, so we unconsciously keep going back to negative thoughts. Back in the day, this helped our ancestors survive by being alert to danger. But in today's world, it can make us constantly worried and tense. Social pressures also play a big part. Society pushes us to always compare ourselves and compete, which feeds into a mindset of scarcity and negativity. Deep down beliefs we're not even aware of also shape how we see things. Negative beliefs about ourselves or the world can quietly influence our thoughts and actions, keeping us stuck in a negative cycle. To tap into our ability to make things happen, we need to change our whole outlook on life. Our thoughts are super powerful. They can actually create what we want. By focusing on what we want and ditching negative thoughts, we kickstart a process that helps bring our dreams to life. It's crucial to keep an eye on our thoughts, steering away from negativity and staying positive. We also need to truly believe in our dreams, not just hope for them. Having faith that our desires are within reach is key to making them real. Our emotions are a big part of this journey too. When we feel grateful, joyful, and abundant, we're on the same wavelength as our desires, making them more likely to come true. Setting clear goals and intentions is also important. It gives the universe a roadmap to follow and helps us stay focused. But it's not all about thinking. We have to take action too. Putting in effort and taking steps toward our goals shows the universe we're serious about making our dreams a reality. Let's talk about patience and trust. They're like our best buddies on the journey of making our dreams come true. Manifestation happens in its own time and way, so trusting the process is super important. If we get impatient or start doubting, it can mess with the energy flow we need to make things happen smoothly. To really own our ability to make things happen, we need to bring together our thoughts, feelings, and actions. When these parts of us are in sync, we unlock this amazing power inside us, making our reality match what we truly want deep down. This is how we become conscious creators, actively shaping our lives the way we want them to be. It's important to remember how much influence we have over our reality. By aligning our thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and actions, we tap into this well of creative power that can turn our dreams into reality. It's not just about knowing we have this power, it's about using it with purpose and trust. As we keep walking this journey of change, let's appreciate the beauty of working together with the universe. Our energy and commitment make a real difference. If you found this talk on making dreams happen and feeling empowered helpful, and if you're ready to take control of your life story, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel. Let's dive into something really important, the idea that there's a whole world beyond what we can see. Imagine there's this invisible realm full of good vibes that comes even before the things we actually experience. It's like a sneak peek before the big show. In this magical space called the vortex of creation, all the wonderful things you desire are gathered and waiting just for you. It's like a treasure chest held by the universe, waiting to be discovered. Today, we're going to chat about how to step into this vortex. Let's dive into something really important, the idea that there's a whole world beyond what we can see. Imagine there's this invisible realm full of good vibes that comes even before the things we actually experience. It's like a sneak peek before the big show. In this magical space called the vortex of creation, all the wonderful things you desire are gathered and waiting just for you. It's like a treasure chest held by the universe, waiting to be discovered. The key is to recognize that there's this pool of positive energy, wanting you to be a part of it, knowing when you're in it, and trying to hang out there more often. If you happen to slip out of the vortex, pay attention to the thoughts that took you out and try to steer clear of them. Focus on thoughts that help you keep a sunny outlook. Many times we put in effort to meditate, concentrate, and achieve goals because we're aware of what we don't want. Most folks work hard from outside the vortex, making things feel like an uphill battle. The trick is to shift our focus inside the vortex for a smoother and more positive journey. In the past, you might have used affirmations or positive statements to try to change your situation. For instance, saying, "I want more money," or "I can achieve success." However, if you're feeling negative while doing this, it might not be all that helpful. When you're outside the positive state and you make efforts with affirmations, it can actually backfire. It's like having an argument with a friend. The more you talk, the more you both stick to your beliefs. Similarly, when you're not in a positive mindset, affirmations might feel like you're saying the opposite of what you mean. But if you're already in a good mood, like appreciating a beautiful sunrise or spending time with a furry friend, then reading these affirmations feels totally different. That's because there's no negative vibe messing with things. The key is not to force positive thoughts when you're not feeling it. The first step is to get into that positive state, into the vortex. Once you're there, affirmations become more effective and uplifting. The story you tell about your life is super important, and it feels amazing when you're in a positive state. But trying to force it when you're not just doesn't work. So the first thing to do is get into that positive vibe, and then everything else will fall into place. The main idea here is that when you're feeling down or stressed, don't pressure yourself to think positive thoughts. Instead, focus on getting into a positive state called the vortex. Here's the deal. If you find yourself in a negative space, your first mission is to get into the vortex. But how do you do that? Simple. Stop whatever you're doing that's keeping you out of the vortex. No need for drastic measures like breaking up with your partner or quitting your job. We're talking about changing your thought patterns, the stuff happening in your mind every day. Here's the scoop. Don't waste your energy trying to change your thoughts from outside the vortex. It's like banging your head against a wall. It won't get you anywhere, and it might even make things worse. To really shift your mindset, you gotta get in sync with your true self. One way to do this is by giving your mind a break, like with meditation. When your mind is chill, your resistance fades away and your mood lifts. Do stuff that makes you happy, whether it's going for a jog, soaking up nature, or hanging out with your favorite people. Take a moment to appreciate the little things around you. It's all about tuning into your true self, and trust me, it's a game changer. Once you're in this positive groove, that's when you set your goals, make your plans, and start making moves. In other words, step into the vortex first and then tackle the rest. It's like walking through a door into a brighter state of mind. So take a breath, relax, and enjoy this journey of co-creation and alignment with your true self inside the vortex. Think of the vortex of creation as your personal creative hotspot. Even better, see it as the happening spot for all the good stuff in your life. So when someone says they can't see any improvements in your life, you can just shrug and say, that's because the good stuff happening is invisible to those outside the vortex. It's like having a secret superpower that others might not get. Prioritizing being in this vortex and tuning into its positive vibes brings a lot of zest back into your life. You'd be amazed at how much easier life feels when you're not in a funk. Picture this: a mom trying to figure out what's bugging her kid. She could stress herself out trying to solve the issue, when really all she needs to do is step back, focus on something positive, and bam, everything clicks from inside the vortex. The bottom line is, when you're not in the vortex, you're not in the best place to lend a hand to others. It might sound a tad selfish, but what we really mean by selfish is taking care of your own vibe and well-being. When you're aligned with your true positive self, you've got a lot more positivity to spread around. So, embrace a little selfishness by aligning with your positive self. When you prioritize your own good vibes and feelings, it's not really selfish at all. It's just ensuring you're in the best spot to support others. Sacrificing your own well-being to please others might feel good in the short term, but it's not sustainable in the long run. So take care of numero uno first, and from there, you'll naturally be in a better spot to lend a hand to others. Remember that friend who always had your back, no matter what. Maybe it was your mom, especially when you felt like you were swimming against the tide. Now, imagine you've got the power not just to connect with your pre-birth self, but also to tap into all the wisdom and experiences you've gathered along the way. It's not just about you. It's about plugging into the big source of positive energy out there. Let's break it down. Being selfish in this context means going for the thoughts that make you feel the best about any situation and caring about being in this special zone called the vortex, where you're aligned with the energy that creates everything in the world. When you're in the vortex, you become way more powerful than millions of people who aren't. Here's the cool part. Lots of folks are pretty good at figuring out what they don't want and what they do want. But they often miss the connection with the source that's bringing all those wanted things to them. It's like they're on one side and the source and the law of attraction are on the other, doing all the collecting. Going with the flow, complaining about things, those are what happen when you're not taking charge of your relationship with your true self. But when you decide to bridge that gap between your current thoughts and the pure, positive energy of who you really are, life starts looking different. You start feeling pumped and content, and others might see you as someone who effortlessly puts together a fulfilling life. Those who don't get the power of the vortex might think you're just lucky, maybe even a little envious of your good luck. But here's the secret. You've figured out how to vibe with yourself, always aware of your connection with who you truly are and what you want. You've become a deliberate thinker, not just letting things happen randomly. You think, speak, and act with purpose, always in tune with the vortex. And when someone asks, "What's your secret?" you just smile and say, "I'm in the vortex, my friend." What's the vortex? It's like this super positive energy zone where all your dreams and wishes hang out until you're ready to make them happen. It's like this endless pool of good vibes that you've been adding to your whole life. Even though you can't see it, you can definitely feel its effects. It's kind of like when your dog senses things you can't. Your pup's got a super sensitive radar for vibes, and the vortex is all about vibes too. So the vortex is like this magical space, and when you're near it, you can feel its amazing energy. But if you're far away, you might feel out of sync. All those feelings you have all day, they're like signals telling you how close or far you are from your vortex. When you're feeling cranky, it means you're not hanging out near your vortex. When you're hopeful, you're right on the edge, about to step into this imaginary doorway to the vortex. This entry point is between hope and belief. And when you're hopeful, the law of attraction helps you get inside. If you weren't doing something that keeps you away from the vortex, you'd get in every time. It's like falling asleep. In you go. But if you fall asleep far from the vortex, you'll wake up feeling the same way. The vortex is like this source of well-being, pulling you toward all the good stuff you've created. When you're not resisting with negative thoughts, it easily pulls you in. So when we say, get into the vortex, we mean stop doing things that keep you away from it. You don't have to wait until you're pushing up daisies to get into the vortex. It's about connecting with your true self and enjoying everything life has made you to be. We're here to help you adopt a positive mindset, no matter what's going on. Softening your resistance is the key, because that's when the vortex pulls you in, and that's where you truly belong.